we're going to be talking about just how some common English sound spelling patterns do not always follow according to all of the rules we might expect. For learning how to read, we often rely on majority rules, which are spelling patterns that usually will help us know just how to pronounce the words. However, the English language has lots of different exceptions that do not seem to follow these common patterns. And all of those exceptions can then make the both pronunciation and reading a bit more difficult for most learners. Within this task, we'll share 3 or more of these common rules also.
So good day everyone, I am Ashley Shane Arcadinta here to discuss one of the major rules that we have in English and its several exceptions that makes reading difficult for the learners. So the majority rule that I chose is the silent GH after a long vowel. In many common words in English language, we can observe that GH is usually silent, especially after long vowels like E, that is usually pronounced as I. So here are the examples that we have. Number 1, night, light, right, fight, high, and sigh. And we can see that the letter I, instead of being pronounced as E or E, short E or long E, it is pronounced as I, which makes the GH silent. Another example are number 1, not, fought, thought, and thought. In this, the GH does not represent any sound, and as we can see and we can hear, it's completely silent. However, this rule have its own exceptions, such as that number 1, GH can be pronounced as the sound of letter F. So here are the examples that we have. Number 1, laugh, cough, enough, tough, and rough. This creates the confusion because learners expect GH to be silent, not to turn into the sound of F. As we all know, as I said before, the majority rule in GH is it is silent after a long vowel. But in some words, especially those of older Germanic origin, JH is pronounced like the sound of F. Another exception of this rule is that the letter GH can be pronounced also as the sound of letter G. In a few rare cases, especially in proper names or some loan words, GH is pronounced as a hard G sound. So examples of this are number 1, ghost. So as we can see, the GH sounds like G, G, strong G. So number 2, ghastly, goal, and ghetto. So for an instance, the word ghastly, they could just spell it with as ghastly, as GASTLY. But as we can observe, English language scribes added the letter H to certain words, which is sometimes or somehow unnecessary because adding the letter H in the word ghastly does not change the sound or even the pronunciation of the word itself. So the main reason why this rule makes reading English difficult for the student is because of its unpredictability. Unpredictability in spelling, sound, or pronunciation, or even the use of the letters GH. With no consistent sound, it turns reading into guesswork for the students, which slows down their fluency and make English less interesting and more frustrating from them.
So hello everyone, today we are learning a useful rule on how to pronounce the letter C in English. This rule will help you read and speak more confidently, and we will also discuss more exemptions so you don't get confused. So the main rule is the soft C sound, or it sounds like letter S. So when the letter C comes before the letters E, I, or Y, it usually sounds like S or the same sound as the letter S in the state. Examples like scent sounds like scent, city like city, and cycle sounds like cycle. So those examples are the common and reliable rule that helps with reading and spelling. So why does this rule exist in the first place? So English borrowed many words from Latin and French, where letter C before E, I, or Y is pronounced as S. This historical pattern became a helpful guide in English learners. And now let's talk about the exemptions where letter C sounds hard or sounds like letter K. And sometimes C before E, I, or Y is pronounced as K, the same sound as in cat. Some examples are Celtic, soccer, and Celt. And here we have some special cases and other exemptions. And some words from other languages do not follow this rule. We have here the examples like facade from French where soft C before A, names like Mac-Ewan, the C stays hard, like cello, concerto from Italian, CH sounds not like S or either K or hard K, and once is pronounced as once or irregular. And some of you may ask, why there are some exemptions? So, English borrows words from many languages, so the rules sometimes change, and proper names often keep their original pronunciation. And different regions may pronounce words differently based on their dialects. And that's the reason why we need to memorize these exemptions. So to sum up the major rule in the letter C sound, the letter C usually sounds like the letter S or the soft C when it comes before the letters E, I, or Y as in scent, city, or cycle. And this rule comes from Latin and French influences on English. And sometimes C before E, I, or Y is pronounced as K or hard C as in Celtic, soccer, and Celt. There are some special exceptions such as facade, cello, and some names which do not follow the main rule. And English has exemptions because it borrows words from many languages and keeps original pronunciations from some names and terms. And to remember, most of the time, C before I, E, or Y is S, but if you're not sure, check the dictionary for exemptions and practice to get better in recognizing these sounds.
Good day. I am Nathan Shinef Bukarin, and I am here to discuss about the spelling rule of the letter combination of C and H. The letters C and H can be pronounced in three different ways. The first way it can be pronounced is just with the C and H. For example, inch, couch, and peach. The second way it can be pronounced is with a T before the CH. For example, witch, hitch, and crutch. Finally, the third way it can be pronounced is with a K sound, a K sound. For example, character, orchid, and chameleon. Now, the first rule for the first way of pronouncing it, the ch sound, is when the word has anything else other than only one vowel before the ch sound. As I have said earlier, peach. Peach has ea before ch. Next is inch. Inch has I and N before the ch sound. And couch. It has O and U before the H. Now, the second rule is with the T and CH. For example, witch, hitch, and crutch. This rule applies if the word only has one syllable and there's only one vowel before the CH sound, which only has I before the CH sound. Hitch only has I before the CH sound, and crutch only has U before the TH sound. And finally, the K sound. Words with the K sound for its CH spelling are usually from Greek origins. And that is how you pronounce CH.
Good day everyone, I'm Nadine Angela Vicadag and I will be concluding our topic that is about song spelling correspondences. It is previously mentioned that these majority rules in some spelling correspondences made reading English difficult. The way words have a secret or silent letter that are being pronounced but isn't included in the spelling of that word, or vice versa, or some words that have different pronunciation than their spellings. However, the importance of understanding these rules will help you develop to distinguish the pattern of words, their spelling, and the appropriate sounds or phonemes. The application of these rules will also help you to read English less difficult. Thank you for listening.